Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is the Brittney Reacts Show, and on this show, we normally cover entertainment news. That's usually how we do these shows, but really, I think I've covered just about every entertainment news that's dropped this week. So I thought, why not spend Friday having a bit more of a casual chit-chat? Let's just have an Ask Me Anything about entertainment. I need to add that asterisk, so don't ask me about, like, my personal life or anything crazy. Just ask me about anything related to entertainment, and just like the kinds of topics that we usually talk about. I think we can still have a really good fun stream. How are you guys? Hi some kids. Hi Flying Ipit. Hi Brianna. Hi Prince. Hi Nicholas. Hi Ajamin. Hi Steph. Hi Walter. Hi Munchie the Gnome. Hi everyone who's here. Hi CD Woods. Hi Yellow Umbrella. I know there's a couple of names I haven't seen in a while because I changed the time. I apologize. Also, there was supposed to be a stream last week. Some of you might have been here, but I had tech issues. I had to buy a whole new computer just to be able to do streams this week, so I couldn't do anything last week. So sorry about that. How are you guys doing, though? I have to say, this week was quite interesting with my leg just seemingly snapping. I don't know what the heck happened. I've been hobbling around my apartment all week. It's been, not the greatest fun, not gonna lie. Oh, hi Willow Ray. I'm glad this is your first time. This is just gonna be an Ask Me Anything. So now you guys can start the questions. So what do you want to know my opinions on? Again, just please stick to like the realm of entertainment though. Hi Jojo Rod. Walter says, 2 questions. Brittney, what do you think of the Rotten Tomatoes scandals, and do you think Disney is financially cooked? Thank you for the question, Walter. Well, I did talk about the Rotten Tomatoes scandal in a couple of videos ago, so if you want a deeper dive into that, I recommend checking out that video. But yeah, I think it looks bad for Rotten Tomatoes. I don't think anyone's really surprised. People have been saying Rotten Tomatoes has been corrupt for a while. So far, this is just an isolated case with one PR firm with a few small movies. If this can stay an isolated case, I think Rotten Tomatoes will be fine. But if they start seeing that this is like a trend with multiple people paying critics to put good reviews on Rotten Tomatoes, then this puts the entire site into question because then we couldn't trust any of the numbers. So I think this is an existential crisis for Rotten Tomatoes, and they know that, so they're going to make sure this is just an isolated incident. So we'll see. I'm sure this will be an evolving story. And do I think Disney is financially cooked? Maybe. Maybe. Honestly, things have never looked worse for Disney than they do right now. Honestly, I think the end game is just Bob Iger is going to sell the company to some tech giant like Apple or something. That's what I think. Because at this point, what else are they gonna do? They're kind of screwed in all sorts of directions. Brianna Desart says, we all kind of knew this was, that it's happening, to be honest. Yeah, the Rotten Tomatoes thing is not surprising to anyone. It's just, they're finally getting caught for it. So we'll see. Nicholas Wilson says, do you think some linear TV will continue for the near future, mostly for old people? I think we're going to start to see linear TV crash really quickly, even in just like the next 5 years. Because, I don't know if you guys have been paying attention to this, I've been debating on whether or not to even talk about it on my live stream, but I thought it was too businessy and like in the weeds to like not even talk about with you guys, which is why I didn't bring it up. But there has actually been a lot of interesting development on the linear TV front this week. So if you guys didn't know, Disney is in a heated battle with Charter Spectrum, which is the company behind a lot of big channels on linear TV. And so what's happening right now, if you have linear TV and you have certain channels or had certain channels like ESPN, FX, the ones that Disney owns, right now those are down if Spectrum is your provider, because the two companies are fighting, and it sounds like they're willing to part ways. And if that happens, this could cause a chain reaction where a lot of Disney channels, not Disney Channel, but Disney-owned channels, will get shut down pretty quickly. And Disney owns some of the biggest channels on linear TV, including ABC. So if this does happen, we could see even just a year from now like channels left and right on linear television shutting down for good. I think within 5 years, we'll probably only see like, it'll probably go back to how it used to be. Like way back in the day, TV just started off being like a few channels and then it expanded. I think we're probably going to go back to what it used to be, and it's going to shrink to just like maybe 4 channels. And it's just going to be for the older generation mostly. I think that's what's going to happen. Oh, CD Wood says, please talk more about linear TV. I love learning about it. Oh, I'm glad that you enjoy it. I'm always like, I'm not sure where the line is between like, is this too inside baseball versus this is actually good? We're experiencing buffering. How? Oh, man. I don't understand. I just got a whole bunch of new tech stuff. I got a whole new computer. The only thing I can think of that would cause streaming problems at this point would just be my Wi-Fi, which I can't help. Although, I do have some news on that front. I'm moving soon. So soon enough, within like the next month or two, maybe the next month. Sorry about that. You won't be hearing that anymore, thankfully. But you'll be seeing a different background behind me, so hopefully I'll have much better setup, much better Wi-Fi, so I don't have to deal with any of that. Brianna says, yeah, the stream lagged when you waved your arms. Okay, well maybe I won't wave my arms anymore. Kisaki says, linear TV is still big in other countries. Not a lot of streaming services are available outside of the U.S. and a few other countries. Yeah, there are some countries that are still like more linear than streaming, but I do think those are just some of the last countries to make the switch. I think eventually everyone's going to make the switch to streaming. I think that's pretty inevitable, just because once you do have a good number of affordable streaming options in your country, it just makes so much more sense to subscribe to streaming than it does to linear TV. Yeah, there are some countries where it's still the opposite, but I don't think it's going to stay that way. Flying Itbit says, do you think Disney will be dead in like 80 years? I hope not. I genuinely do. As much as I complain about Disney, I complain because it's coming from a place of love. I loved the company. I was, I was practically raised growing up going to Disney World almost every year with my family. So I would be really sad if Disney just suddenly shuttered. But at this point, I think anything is on the table, unfortunately. Baz Banter. Oh, you just wanted to support the channel. Not even a question. You were so kind, Baz. Thank you for the super chat. Joshua Munn says, I hate Spectrum, we may switch, but MeTV and MeTV Plus has every other cartoon that isn't Disney. That's great. I want Boomerang myself for even more old cartoons that aren't Disney as well. Yeah, Spectrum, everyone hates Spectrum. If you're not in the US, you may not know, but Spectrum is like one of the biggest TV providers here in the country, and they are also one of the most hated companies in the country. And that's not even, I'm not even being like facetious. There are literal surveys and polls that say they're one of the most hated companies in the entire country because they're always doing something shady. They're always adding fees. No one likes them. Munchie the Gnome says, you mentioned not being familiar with Don Bluth or his movies in a previous stream. Would you consider watching or reviewing some of them? Okay. Who is Don Bluth? Give me an example of a movie he's done I might have heard of. I know nothing about this person. I'm sorry. Internet Bussy 2. Bussy. Oh, God. The things you guys make me say just reading your names. What do you think about Disney's marketing for its recent films? I think that marketing has been really poor, not gonna lie. I feel like the marketing for Disney films has been focusing on things that aren't that interesting, or like the least interesting part of the thing that they're actually selling. Like with Elemental. In my video that I made about it, I talked about how the movie is actually a lot better than the trailers made it seem, because the trailer for Elemental, all it did was focus on like the, I guess, cute visual gags between the elements, and that was kind of the entire focus of the trailer. And I just don't think that was what is the most interesting thing about that movie or why people liked it the most. So they just focus on the wrong things, in my opinion, in the marketing. But thank you for the question. I'm not leaving New York. I'm staying in New York, Yellow Umbrella. I'm just going to a different part with a nicer room. So, again, you'll get to see a much nicer background soon enough. All right. Do you think Snow White will flop, says Miss Kitty. Yeah, most likely. If they don't put it on Disney Plus, I think it'll probably either just flop, like it'll be so bad it'll be dead on arrival, or it's possible it could do the opposite, where it just drums up so much controversy and everyone's talking about it so much, it makes people curious enough to actually try it out. So you get a lot of people hate watching it. I could see that, possibly. Yes, I do know what the Pixar theory is, Yellow Umbrella. Although I haven't, like, paid attention to how the most recent movies fit into the theory. I have no idea. Walter says, why did streaming financially fail for studios? I think really streaming is just too expensive. Like, they're spending billions and billions of dollars on original content, and not a lot of people are actually watching that content, and it's not like you actually have to buy the content individually, so it's just free a la carte with your subscription price. So it's just not really a sustainable business model. Like, yeah, pay this very cheap fee of like $10 a month for all the movies that we own. That was never a sustainable business plan. Eric says, have you checked the Rachel Zegler Snow White scandal? Yeah, we've been talking about it in the live streams. Josh, did I check on the updates? Is that what you're saying? I think I did see something about there's like a rumor that there's drama behind the scenes, but it's just a rumor for now. We don't know. Although I wouldn't be surprised. There was a whole article that came out that are like, media analysts are afraid that the Snow White movie's gonna flop now, and it's like, if they're wondering if this movie's gonna flop, I'm sure Disney is too. So I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of the creatives behind the scenes are a little upset with her. Rillage Rock says, how did you feel about the New York City riot that happened with YouTuber Kai? Yeah, that was unfortunate. I did hear about it. I wasn't near it, thankfully. I just feel like people in general are getting very rowdy. I think social media is encouraging just the worst behavior in public, because all you have to do is film it and you can suddenly become famous overnight. So it's just encouraging people to do the craziest stuff in public now. What's my favorite character in Once Upon a Time, says Yellow Umbrella? I haven't watched that show in a very long time, but when it was airing, who did I like? I remember I think I liked Rumpelstiltskin. I think that was my favorite. I can't remember. That was like forever ago when I watched that show. Eric says, which is your favorite animated Disney princess, and which is your favorite live action one? Favorite Disney, well, okay, it's changed. Because as a kid, my favorite Disney princess was Ariel. I loved Little Mermaid. I watched it repeatedly. As I grew older, I started to like Tangled a lot more, and then Frozen. Right now, it's probably Tangled. Honestly, the animated show that's based off of Tangled is what made Tangled now my favorite Disney princess movie, because that show is so good. Favorite live action one is still Aladdin. I actually like Aladdin. It's pretty much the only one I can say I genuinely like. Natanya says, what's your idea for a Netflix show? Oh, that's a good question. I don't know. I want more, like, big epics. Like, I feel like Hollywood doesn't make epics anymore. I would love a big, sweeping, epic adventure story that's actually really good. Think something like a, I don't know, Ben-Hur is the only one that's coming to my mind immediately, but something crazy huge like that. I want more big epics like that. Yellow Umbrella says, I went to Manhattan last year and someone should have prepared me for Times Square and Subway. Yeah, you see some stuff. You definitely see some stuff, especially on the subway. You just, for the most part, if you don't bother them, they don't bother you. Just kind of like look the other way. And then you'll be fine. You'll be fine. The Blue Gecko Nerd says, can you like Disney princesses if you're a boy? Yeah, of course you can. Anyone can like Disney princesses. Okay, Poke Raj thought Rumpelstiltskin was hot. I don't know if I thought he was attractive. I think I just liked his relationship with Belle. I think that's what I liked. What's my favorite Pixar movie? Always and forever will be WALL-E. It's gonna be really hard to top WALL-E for me. Oh, Hannah, I loved the Golden Compass in Narnia as a kid. Yeah, Narnia, I didn't like Golden Compass for whatever reason. That movie scared me as a kid. I don't know what it was. It was just, I had like a really creepy, unnerving feeling I didn't like. But Narnia, I really liked the Narnia movie. I have seen 500 Days of Summer. That's a good movie. It's one of my favorite rom-coms. Ayuyumi says, do you prefer 2D hand-drawn animation or CGI? Actually, my ultimate favorite form of animation is stop motion, just because I think it's so beautiful and I love the craft that goes into it and I wish we got more of it. But between those two, I actually like 2D more. I feel like 2D animation holds up better. 3D animation just gets dated after a while. Like, if you go back to those early Toy Story movies, they do not hold up. Like, the animation just does not hold up. Whereas the 2D animation stuff from the same era holds up really well. So, I don't know. I wish we got more mix. Like, it wasn't all just 3D animation now. Like, I want to go back to 2D. I want more stop motion. I just want more different kinds of animation in general. Yeah, Narnia was good. Joe Pedro says, I don't understand the Golden Compass. Yeah, I think I was confused by the movie. And then someone told me, I think before I saw it, that it was a religious allegory. I mean, Narnia is too. But for some reason with the Golden Compass, it was just like, I don't know, it really creeped me out. Like, I couldn't watch it. Coraline, of course, is another one. Like, I would watch Coraline. That was fine. But the Golden Compass creeped me out. I don't understand it, but that's how I was. Prince says, have you finished One Piece live action series? No, I haven't finished it yet. So I won't be giving any spoilers. I still like the first episode, though. It's really good. I know, I wish they'd bring back 2D, to be honest. Oh, you got flowers delivered to you, Brianna. Ooh, do you have a suitor? That's nice. Shelly Lee says, have you seen The Lord of the Rings yet? I've seen the first Lord of the Rings and half of the second. I just haven't finished the second or watched the third yet. And I've seen the first Lord of the Rings now, like, at least 3 times. Because I keep trying to get into it. Because I feel like it's something that I should like, and I feel bad that I don't like it. So I've tried many times to get into Lord of the Rings. I even tried watching that Amazon show, and I didn't like that either. I think it's just too high fantasy for me. For me, I prefer low fantasy. Like, I prefer fantasy when there's still some semblance of the real world to base it off of. But when it's all, like, high fantasy in a high fantasy world, I start to feel, like, too disconnected from it. I don't know, I can't get into it. That's why I like Harry Potter, because there's still a muggle world and a magical world. But with Lord of the Rings, it's just all the fantasy. I don't know, I just can't connect to it. I have a super chat from Metronoma1. Thank you so much. Dawn B. Masterpieces, The Land Before Time, Secret of Nymph, Anastasia, and American Tail. Were those your favorite movies? Dawn, okay. So he did Anastasia. Oh, that's who he is. So I have seen one of his movies. I've seen Anastasia. I haven't seen the others, but yeah, I mean, Anastasia's really good. That's another movie, since Disney now technically owns Anastasia. If they did a live-action Anastasia, I wouldn't mind that one. But thank you for the super chat. Rillage says, a lot of people like Ahsoka. I can't get into it. I'm actually in the same boat as you. I think it's decent. I think it's better than Boba Fett or the last season of The Mandalorian. But at the same time, I very much feel like I'm missing half the story because I didn't watch Rebels or any of the animated stuff. So I'm just like, who are these people? Who was Ezra? Who was Thrawn? And why am I supposed to care about these people? Because they don't explain it to me. I just feel like I was supposed to know already. So yeah, I'm kind of so-so on Ahsoka. Oh, Queen Bee has never seen Harry Potter. No. Harry Potter was my whole childhood. Prince says, controversial opinion, Lord of the Rings is overrated. And it's always go over my head. It's too much. I don't know if it's overrated. Even though I have never been into it, and I have literally tried because I've always been such a huge genre fan my entire life. It has always like puzzled me that something that is so universally beloved as like the Lord of the Rings is just something that I can't get into. So I've tried to make myself like it. I just can't get into it. Trying to finish the first movie is like torture for me. But I made myself do it 3 times because I really wanted to try to like it. It was not for me. Sorry. Michael SD64 says, Ahsoka is okay. Have you watched the Castlevania Netflix animated series? No, but I want to, because people keep comparing it to Arcane, and I really loved Arcane. So if Castlevania is anywhere near as good as Arcane, I think I should try it. Yeah, Nicholas, that's what I've heard about Ahsoka, is that it's just like the next season of Rebels, and I've never seen Rebels, so I'm like, I definitely feel like I'm missing a few seasons of information. Okay, Jao Pedro says, yeah, The Lord of the Rings is kind of long to watch, I must agree. It doesn't help that the first time I tried to watch The Lord of the Rings, it was the director's cut, which is even longer. So I was literally like sitting there like, oh my god, I feel like I've been here all day. I mean, it's okay. Again, a lot of people love it. I understand like the book is considered to be a work of literary art. All power to Lord of the Rings fans. I could never be one of them. Some person skywalking says the person is that Dave Filoni expects everyone to watch all Star Wars lore. And personally, if I was in your shoes, I wouldn't want to watch a kiddie show like Rebels. That's the crazy part about the whole thing. It's like they are demanding that fully grown adults go back and watch kids shows from like 10 years ago to catch up on this show. Like, do you realize that's a lot to ask of someone? And apparently the viewership for Ahsoka is not as good as they're trying to make it seem. Like, apparently it's actually pretty bad. And I'm not surprised, because you have to do so much homework to even understand who these people are. Like, they don't really take the time to introduce anyone. They're just like, oh, here's Ahsoka, here's this Sabine character, and you're like, okay, how do they know each other? What happened? Oh, she did this now? Oh, I didn't know. Like, it just feels like there's definitely a lot of backstory that they just don't even care to explain. Cheetah Viper, I love Game of Thrones. I'm huge into Game of Thrones and House of the Dragon. When House of the Dragon comes back, I will be covering that for sure. That's like one of my all-time favorite shows at the moment. I was kind of obsessed when that show was airing. Oh, we have another super chat from Ethan Golan. Thank you so much for the super chat. What is your favorite non-Disney animated movie? Non-Disney animated movie. Okay. I think it's going to be... There's a really sad movie called When Marnie Is There. I don't know if you guys have heard of it, but that's probably up there. Also, Howl's Moving Castle. Really love that one too. A lot of Studio Ghibli stuff. I also like Your Name. That's another anime. I saw Your Name in theaters, actually. I really liked it. And the sequel, well, not the sequel, but the spiritual sequel. Those are some of the non-Disney animated films I really love. And Coraline, as you guys know. And Kubo and the Two Strings. If you guys have seen Kubo, that's a really good movie. Thank you for the question. Okay. Seems a lot of you guys like Coraline. It's so funny to me because Coraline is such a dark, kind of niche movie that has become a cult classic over time. Because we talked about it yesterday. But Coraline was just re-released in like a very few selected theaters. And it still did really well for a re-release all these years later. So it's kind of funny how that movie's become a major cult classic over time. Oh yeah, I also like Corpse Bride. That's another good one. I love Enchanted. Okay, some of you have seen Kubo. Leica has pretty good films, to be honest. I've seen most of them. Also, Wes Anderson, he has a stop animation movie called Isle of the Dogs. That's also really good. If you like anything stop motion, which, like I do, you'll probably like Isle of the Dogs. That's a really good one, too. Yes, Prince, I've also seen Kiki's Delivery Service. That's actually one of my favorite Studio Ghibli movies. I agree, Natanya. It is a masterpiece. I wish Leica made more movies, to be honest. Oh, Zhao Pedro says, what is your favorite Backyardigans episode? Random question. I don't know if I remember individual episodes. I mean, I watched the show when I was in elementary school, but man, did I used to love me some Backyardigans. That theme song, oh man, I used to sing that theme song all the time as a kid. So it's so funny that it came back as like a TikTok trend all these years later. I'm just like, why is everyone into Backyardigans again? It was a good show though. Oh, did I bump the mic? I'm sorry. I'm gonna try to stop doing that. Yellow Umbrella says the musical numbers in Enchanted are so good. I feel like Disney is very, very hit and miss with their musicals now, and mostly missed. Like, did you guys see Enchanted 2? The music in that movie was terrible. Like, compared to the first, it was just awful. So bad. Oh, I know, Nicholas. It sucks that Leica films tend to not do well. I wish they did so much better. Willow says, are you going to see The Boy and the Heron in theaters? Yes, I'm actually really looking forward to it. If you guys know what The Boy and the Heron is, it was going to be Miyazaki's final film, but I just saw a tweet this morning that said he apparently changed his mind, so... But it's another Miyazaki movie that's coming out later this year, and I'm definitely seeing it. The only episode I can remember of Backyardigans specifically is like a pirate episode where they go hunt for treasure on this island. And I know it has I think Pablo his name was, the penguin. He was the main star of that one. That's like the only episode that immediately comes to mind. But I remember being obsessed with that show when I was a kid. I loved me some Backyardigans. Oh, Prince liked the villain song in Disenchanted. I'm glad you liked it. I did not care for the music in that movie. Okay, Kisaki never even saw the second one. It wasn't nearly as good as the first Enchanted. The first Enchanted, I think, is probably one of my favorite Disney live-action movies, period. Oh, don't say that, some person skywalking. I genuinely don't want Disney to buy Leica, because they would ruin it. I don't want that at all. Okay. Lefton says Miyazaki has said this is my last film like 3 or 4 times now. Has he? Has he done that? That's funny. Maybe we shouldn't have believed him in the first place then. The Blue Gecko Nerd. I don't think that's an unpopular opinion. I think Leica is definitely an underrated studio. Wait, what? Travis says, did you hear about the new Grinch movie with Jim Carrey? That's not happening. What? Don't make me look this up. They're not making a Grinch sequel, are they? Huh? The Grinch 2? What? Report, Jim Carrey rumored to star in The Grinch 2. Huh? Okay, so this rumor comes from the giant freaking robot 7 months ago. This website is very much sketchy when it comes to rumors. They don't always turn out to be true. And we haven't heard about this since 7 months ago, so I don't know if this is legit. I mean, if they did it, I'd watch it. It'll probably make $1 billion, but I don't know. That sounds crazy. Would you guys even want a Grinch 2 with Jim Carrey? To be honest, the first Jim Carrey Grinch movie is my favorite. Actually, it's my second favorite Christmas movie. My first favorite is Polar Express. Even though I use Polar Express to make fun of The Flash, I really like the Polar Express. It's genuinely my favorite Christmas movie, even though it looks very uncanny. Second is The Grinch with Jim Carrey, and then third would be Elf. So I would love a sequel now that I think about it, but I can't imagine Jim Carrey actually wanting to do that. If you guys didn't know, the first Jim Carrey, not the first Jim Carrey, the first Grinch movie, Jim Carrey complained about how that movie, like, messed with him psychologically because he basically had to live in that Grinch costume for months, and he couldn't, like, barely move his face behind the mask, and it was, like, psychological torture for him. I don't know if you guys ever heard Jim Carrey talk about his experience doing this movie, but he said apparently being in all of that prosthetics and makeup all, like, the entire time was, like, really taxing on him. So if he did do this again, I'd be surprised, but I'd watch it. Kisaki says the Polar Express, I have it on CD. Yeah, the Polar Express is a good one. I have a very clear memory of seeing the Polar Express for the first time in theaters, actually. And the reason I remember seeing it in theaters because just by happenstance, like, 2 of my classmates were also in the theater at the same time. We all happened to see the same show at the same theater. And it was really funny. We all ran into each other. Random story, but that's what I remember now when I think about the Polar Express. Rhea Rue says, The Nightmare Before Christmas is my favorite. I like more Halloween in my Christmas. I'm the opposite, Rhea Rue. I've never been a Halloween person. I've always been a Christmas girl. Layleen Law says, I wish we had more Jim Carrey in serious movies. Him in Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind is absolutely incredible. I agree. Eternal Sunshine is one of my favorite movies. That is a great film. He's actually a very good dramatic actor. I just wish we saw more Jim Carrey in general. Indie Sunflower says, it's my favorite Christmas movie too. I hate when people make fun of it for looking creepy. I mean, to defend the Polar Express, it was of its time. It was one of the first movies to really use motion capture that much. And, I mean, obviously it shows, but it was pioneering the technology, to be fair. So you have to put it in that context. Nicholas 187769 says, Polar Express gives me nostalgia too. Christmas as a kid was so magical. It really was. Don't you miss that magical feeling? Ah, so nice. Any other questions? Eric says, who is your favorite Harry Potter character and what house are you in? Favorite Harry Potter character, I loved Luna. Probably Luna. And then I'm a Ravenclaw. So, yeah. Actually, I've gone back and forth between Ravenclaw and Slytherin, but I'm pretty sure I'm a Ravenclaw. I just played the game, Hogwarts Legacy, and I was sorted into Ravenclaw there, so I'm just going to go with Ravenclaw. Prince says, have anyone seen Teen Titans Go to the movies? It's actually underrated. I actually did see Teen Titans Go to the movies. I thought it was pretty cute and funny. Yeah, I agree, Prince. No one talked about it, though, which is sad. Oh, John Pedro says, did you like the Monster House movie? Now, that is a creepy film. What a creepy movie. Okay, another fun theater story. I remember seeing Monster House for the first time in theaters, because I was around the same time as Coraline, so I was pretty young. But I was in a theater full of, like, adults and kids, like a pretty good mix. But why was the movie scaring the adults more than it was scaring the kids? I remember there was one point in the film where a grown man screamed out loud. Like, he screamed and jumped out loud and the whole theater laughed because that's how creepy that movie was. But I really like Monster House. I would say Monster House is even more unnerving than Coraline for some reason. I don't know what it is, but that movie just creeped me out. Creeped the entire theater out. Michael says, what physical media do you own? I actually technically own a lot of DVDs, but most of them are old because I don't really buy them anymore. But growing up, I always bought a DVD if I liked the movie. So I ended up having my own, like, mini Blockbuster at my house because I had a lot of movies. Now, not so much, just because I don't really buy DVDs anymore, but I used to have a ton. And I technically still have them. They're just kind of chilling there because I don't really use them. But I'm glad you guys like Monster House. Did anyone see it? Do you guys agree with me? That movie is really creepy. Like, really creepy. The Free Rocket Man says, it haunted me as a kid. We had a similar house nearby. Oof, I couldn't imagine. Could not imagine. Prince says, I know Monster House is scary AF. I loved it. I will never forget that grown man screaming. It was like a high-pitched scream, too. Like, it could have been me. It was so funny. Like, the entire theater was tense. For a kid's movie, that was pretty creepy. Yeah, it was also motion capture. I think that's probably why it was so creepy, because of the uncanny valleyness of it, but also because just the mere fact that the house was a human and like they were all inside of it, just it gave me such like an icky feeling. Yeah, Prince, it's definitely a kid's movie. It is underrated. The Blue Gecko Nerd says, I really wish I saw Holes as a kid. It's really fun and campy and nostalgic. So cool to watch Disney movies. Wish Disney would make more movies like this. They should make more movies like Holes. Holes was a good film. Again, I watched Holes for some reason. I went to different schools growing up because I had to move a lot. And for whatever reason, every school that I went to, it was always like customary that at the end of the year we had to watch Holes. Like, Holes was the movie the whole school had to watch at every school I went to. So for some reason, throughout the entire 2000s or since that movie was out, it was like I had to watch that movie every year. So I'm very familiar with it. But yeah, it's very good. Yeah, Jal Pedro, they don't make scary movies like that anymore. It's because the parents would complain. And so they feel like they can't do that. Like, look at the Haunted Mansion movie. I think even the original Haunted Mansion movie with Eddie Murphy was a lot scarier than the new Haunted Mansion movie they just released. They even took out a lot of the frights and scares from the Haunted Mansion movie. Like, it was just kind of I have not seen the Winnie the Pooh horror movie. I don't know. You guys seem to really like Holes. Brianna Desart says, I'm waiting for that to happen with the FNAF movie. Waiting for what to happen? Slackjaw says, what do you think about aliens? Well, it sounds like our government has been hiding secret alien tech in bodies in, like, I don't know, military units in secret locations like everyone thought they were. But it's just funny that they're finally confirming it and no one seems to care. Like, wasn't there just a report like a few weeks ago that was talking about how oh no, it wasn't a report. It was a guy. He was testifying in front of Congress, and he was like, yeah, the government has an alien spacecraft, and I've seen it. And, like, it trended for, like, a day, and then no one talked about it. It's very weird. Like, you would think aliens would be bigger news, but everyone's just like, yeah, but whatever. I got bills to pay. Angel Barrera, thank you so much for the super chat. I'm tired of digging holes, Grandpa. That's a very quotable movie. Like, I think I was saying I can fix that all the time when I was, like, watching that as a kid. Everyone would say that. I could fix that. Nicholas says, I always believed in that ish, so I'm just being smug and silent. What are you talking about? What did you believe? Did I miss a super chat? No. Okay. Eric says, Corpse Bride and Nightmare Before Christmas are perfect Halloween watches. Harry Potter 1, Frozen Christmas Special, and Disney Enchanted Christmas are the perfect Christmas watch. I don't actually think I have any Disney movies I watch for Christmas. My go-to Disney movies, or my go-to Christmas movies every year are the three I just mentioned, so like The Grinch, Polar Express, Elf. But I also really like the old school, again, stop motion ones, like Santa Claus is Coming to Town. I don't know if you guys have seen that. The old school Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. Those, I like watching the old school ones. Even the one for New Year's where they have the baby New Year's and they follow him around. I love that stuff. I watch those every year. Yeah. Nicholas says, talking about aliens, Brittany, next will be Bigfoot. I don't know about Bigfoot, but have you guys not been following the alien stuff? There's been so much alien news this year. From the government, from, like, military officials, from, like, actual, supposedly reputable people. And, like, no one cares. It's so weird. I kind of care. Oh, yeah, Home Alone, Prince. How could I forget Home Alone? The first two Home Alones I've seen... Honestly, I'm at the point where I've seen the first two Home Alone movies so much, I'm starting to get sick of them. Like, I don't think I even watched them last year because I needed a break. No one says, what do you think about the Agatha Christie novels like Haunting in Venice? Maybe they'll do well. I know that movie's coming out. We'll see. I really like Knives Out. I wouldn't mind more murder mystery, but I think if you're going to do murder mystery, the cast is so important. And I think that's what Knives Out gets right. Like, they cast those movies perfectly. Oh, okay. Hannah says they don't show us the evidence. Maybe people just need the evidence of the aliens. Maybe people just aren't buying it. Nickel the Wise says, Jackie Vernon and Frosty the Snowman and whoever played the snowman in Rudolph. Those are nice to hear at Christmas time. Yeah. Yeah, I love the old school claymation ones. They're so cute. Who is my favorite Disney villain, says some kids. I don't know. I kind of like Mother Gothel, just because I like Tangled. But is she the best? I don't know. Ursula's iconic. I don't know. Maybe those two. I love Glass Onion. I actually liked Glass Onion a lot. Even though I liked the first one more, Glass Onion was good too. Eric says, am I the only one who loved Snow White as a kid and still love it through this day? I liked Snow White. Snow White was never one of my favorite Disney movies. The old school, like old school Disney animated film I used to like was the Sleeping Beauty one. I watched Sleeping Beauty a lot as a kid. That was one of those films, like, when I was really, really young, I would watch and repeat and annoy my parents. Because I went through a phase where, for some reason, that was the only movie I would watch for, like, a couple of weeks. So, yeah, the old school Disney movie I like was the Sleeping Beauty one. Dr. Facilier, yeah, that's a good villain. Frollo, I like Frollo just because I think he has to be the most evil out of all the Disney villains. Like, yeah, some of the villains are pretty evil. Cruella is also pretty evil. But Frollo is literally like, I'm gonna burn this entire city to the ground unless Esmeralda sleeps with me. And I'm just like, that's so evil and not Disney-like. I have to respect it. So Frollo's, yeah, he's a pretty good villain. I kind of want Disney to do a live-action, what's it called? Why am I drawing a blank? The Hunchback of Notre Dame. I kind of want them to do a live-action Hunchback of Notre Dame, to be honest with you. Just because, A, it would be a huge minefield for them to cross trying to adapt that, but also it could be interesting. Like, if Disney actually had the balls to do it, it could be a good movie. Yeah. Nicholas says, I loved that dress and cake sequence from Sleeping Beauty. Yeah, I did too. Hidden Name says, who's Frollo? Oh, he's the main villain from Hunchback of Notre Dame. He's the Hellfire guy. The guy that the priest... The most evil Disney villain is a priest. Maleficent is a good villain too, yeah. Cheetah Viper says, have you seen the old animated movie, The Great Mouse Detective? I've seen it when I was a kid. I haven't seen it in very many years, though, so I don't really remember much. But I know I watched it when I was little. Amy Aguilera says, Britt, have you seen Lady Bird? What'd you think of it? I did not see Lady Bird. I've seen Greta Gerwig's other movies. Like, I saw Little Woman. I just never got around to seeing Lady Bird. I should probably watch that eventually. Who would play Frollo in live action? They should get, what's his face that played the 11th Doctor? You guys know who I'm talking about. What's his name? He would be a really good choice, though. I could see him playing it. Trader Joe says, Brittany, are you catching up with the new Adventure Time Fiona and Cake series on HBO? No, I haven't been watching it. Is it good? I need to catch up on Futurama. Futurama came back, and I haven't seen the episodes yet. I can't believe it. Futurama is one of my all-time favorite shows, and I haven't seen the reboot yet. I gotta fix that. Eric says, who's your favorite Kardashian/Jenner? I do not have one. I do not keep up with them. Yeah, Little Woman is a good movie. Capaldi, yes, thank you. Peter Capaldi. Peter Capaldi could play Frollo. I think he'd be a good casting decision. What do you guys think? Michael says, Brittany, have you watched my Adventures with Superman? No, I haven't. Yo, Kardashians. I know, I kind of forgot Futurama is back too, and I feel bad because I genuinely love that show so much. All the new episodes are mid-tier. That's really sad to hear. Honestly, I think the reason I haven't watched it yet is because I'm a little afraid that it was going to be mid-tier, because I tried to watch, what's it called? Disenchanted? they the same creator behind Futurama also has a Netflix show called Disenchanted, I believe it's called. And I tried to watch that just because I love Futurama so much, and I did not like it. Did not care for it. So I was just like, if this is where the writing is at right now, not sure if the Futurama reboot is a good idea. So it sounds like maybe I was right. So you agree with my Peter Capaldi casting. That's good. Amy says, is Snow White canceled for real? No, it's not canceled yet. There's just lots of rumors that Disney would like to cancel it. So we'll see if that happens. I don't think they're going to outright cancel it because there would be too much backlash on the left. So I think what they're probably going to end up doing if they do still release it is probably just going to put it on Disney+. All right. Wait, hold on. Wait, where did it go? Who is spamming the chat? Oh, Vineet Singh. How can Indian football grow? I know next to nothing about Indian football, let me tell you. If you want to talk sports, I'm so sorry, but I'm just not the person. I know that teams do the thing, they win the points. Sometimes they kick or dribble balls. And there are people who get paid a lot of money to do it. And that's about as much as I know about sports. So sorry about that. Indy Sunflower says, do you like Miguel O'Hara from Spider-Verse? It was okay. I feel like I didn't love him as much as everyone else. I just feel like he was at a 10 from the get-go and just like immediately had it in for had it in for, what's his name? Miles. Like he just had it in for Miles like way too soon, and I just kind of wished that their relationship grew a bit more. I don't know. He was at a 10 too much. I just needed him to like calm down a little bit, or at least grow to a 10. It was just like, hey, hi, I'm Miguel, I'm a 10. Yeah, I don't know. It was just too much. Kisaki says, oh, you're talking about something else. Oh, okay. Yellow Umbrella says, were you on Tom or Summer's side? Of course I'm on Summer's side. I think the movies you're supposed to be on Summer's side. I think he very much just idealized the relationship in his head and didn't realize that she didn't feel the same way, which is, the point of the movie. Nicholas says, yep, which is why celebs don't have much of a fun aura anymore. What are you talking about? What did I miss? Are you guys talking about something? Alright. So we've been talking for a while now. This was just supposed to be a casual Q&A. I'll answer like 3 more questions, and that'll be the end for the stream. I'll see you guys on Monday at 7 for those who can come. I'm sorry if you can't. This was fun. I enjoyed talking to you guys. It's a lot more casual. Again, this was just something because there's literally no new news to talk about since last night. So, yeah. Any new news we'll talk about on Monday. What is my favorite Disney song, says Ethan. Favorite Disney song? That's hard. There's actually quite a lot of good Disney songs. And one that comes immediately to mind is not even from one of their movies. It's again from the Tangled show, because they had music on that show as well, and they have really good music. I don't know, of course I'm blanking on like every song. Most Disney princess movie I like, except for Moana. I like a couple songs from Moana, but I cannot get into Shiny and a couple of those other songs. Oof. Could not get into Shiny. Alright. Second question. Nicholas says, college advice, plan that schedule out. The 4 years will go by pretty quickly. Oh yeah, definitely. Although at the same time, I kind of felt like I was in college forever. College felt both really quick and really long at the same time for me. Yellow Umbrella also agreed. Tangled, the series, had amazing songs, yes. The one where it's like, I will make you proud. That's a good song. That's a really good song. Alright, one more question and that'll be it. Amy says, Britt, any advice for college? I would say, if you're just getting into college now, freshman year is a really important time to like make your connections and meet your people. So I would say like try to meet your people like pretty soon. And also your classes are going to get harder, so maybe try to get good grades in the classes you know are really easy so that it helps out your GPA later when you get to the harder ones and the grades might not be as high. That's my advice. Alright, so that's it. Thank you so much, everyone, for coming to my Ask Me Anything. This was fun. I really enjoyed this. I'll see you guys on Monday. I'll see you then. Bye.